You won't believe what happened to me. You know, we always think this kind of thing only happens to other people. We tell ourselves, me? Never. I'd never fall for that. I'm too careful. I'd recognize a scam immediately. Well, let me tell you this. I lost everything. All my savings, years of work, and part of my dreams. Gone in just a few weeks. And the worst part? I honestly believed I was making a safe, profitable, guaranteed investment. This whole story took place in Norway, between cafes in Oslo, the colorful streets of Bergen, and emails that at first looked absolutely legitimate. At the time, I was living in Oslo, in the Grünerløkka neighborhood. If you've been there, you know it's lively, full of hip cafes, little design shops, cobblestone streets where people walk around with bikes and tote bags, always smelling of fresh coffee and rain on the pavement. Every morning, I had a ritual. I'd buy a cappuccino in a cafe by the Akerselva River. I'd sit with my laptop, work a bit, daydream about the future. That's where the idea hit me. I needed to make my money grow. I had managed to save around 200,000 krona. For me, that was huge. Years of sacrifices, side jobs, long hours. It was my safety net. And I thought, if I just leave it in a savings account, I'll earn peanuts. Why not invest? Why not enter the world of finance? Real investments, profitable returns. One night, I was scrolling through Facebook, and then a sponsored post caught my eye. It said, "Invest in real estate crowdfunding in Northern Europe. Guaranteed returns 12% per year." The magic words: guaranteed, secure, profitable. I clicked. The website was extremely professional. Photos of modern apartment buildings in Bergen, slick financial charts, video testimonials of smiling couples claiming they had doubled their savings thanks to the platform. Everything looked legit. The very next day, I got a call. A man named Eric introduced himself as a financial advisor, based in Oslo, but working with an international investment company. His voice was calm, his vocabulary precise. He spoke about insurance, portfolio diversification, safe investments, stable returns. I still remember him saying, "Here you take no risks. Your funds are protected by real estate guarantees. You can withdraw your money anytime." He knew exactly what to say, and I believed him. I decided to test it out. I invested 50,000 krona. A few days later, I got an email. "Congratulations, your funds have been allocated to the Bergen Real Estate Project." Attached was an official-looking PDF, stamped and signed. A month later, to my surprise, I received a transfer of 500 euros, a real payout, on my actual bank account. I thought, this is incredible. It actually works. I even told a friend, "See, traditional banks rip us off with their ridiculous 2 or 3%. Here, my money is working for me." I felt proud. I thought I'd found the perfect formula, the dream investment. Then came the trap. Eric would call me regularly, always polite, always reassuring. Every time he'd say I was a smart investor, that my funds were safe, that I was a visionary. Flattered, I put in more, another 100,000, then the rest. Within a few months, all my savings, 200,000 krona, about 18,000 euros, were locked into this platform. And for a while, everything seemed fine. I received regular emails, account statements, charts with percentages, earnings projections. It all looked coherent. Until one morning, I tried logging into my dashboard. Blank page. I refreshed. Nothing. I tried later that day. Same. Next day. Same. I started to panic. I called Eric. Voicemail. I left a message. Silence. I sent an email. No reply. For a week, I tried everything. Nothing worked. That's when the real fear hit me. I went to my bank, DNB, to ask for help. I sat across from the banker, explained the whole story. He listened carefully, then shook his head and said, "Sir, what you're describing is an investment scam. These platforms pop up and vanish overnight. Your funds are probably gone abroad. I'm sorry, but you will most likely never see that money again." The floor collapsed beneath me. 200,000 krona, years of work, my plans, all gone. My dream of buying a small apartment in Bergen, gone. My financial security, shattered. I still remember sitting in my living room, hands in my hair, repeating over and over, how could I be so stupid? For days I couldn't talk about it to anyone. I was ashamed. And as if that wasn't enough, 2 weeks later, I got another call. This time from someone claiming to be a fund recovery specialist. He told me they had identified the company that scammed me, that they were working with lawyers, and that to unlock my assets, I just had to pay 5,000 euros in legal fees. For a second, I almost believed him. I was so desperate that I would have given anything to get my money back. But this time, I had the reflex to ask a lawyer friend. When I explained, he cut me off. "Stop right there. This is a second scam. They target victims to squeeze even more money out of them. If you pay, you'll never get anything back." I hung up. And that's when I realized not only had I lost all my savings, I almost fell for another scam on top of it. I felt humiliated. But looking back, I realized it wasn't just naivete. It was trust. And that's exactly what these scammers exploit. They are organized, methodical. They know how to build websites that look more real than reality, send fake payouts to gain your trust, and play on our dreams of financial freedom. Nobody is completely safe. So now I understand one thing. In finance, there are no miracles. If someone promises you guaranteed double-digit returns, it means you are the product. I swore I'd always check. Is the company registered with the Financial Supervisory Authority? Do they have a real office, a physical address, insurance, banking licenses? Do their promises sound realistic? Because money, it takes forever to earn and just seconds to lose. That's why I'm telling you my story. Not to complain, but to warn you. Because if it happened to me, it can happen to you, to your brother, your sister, your neighbor. So please, be careful. And you, tell me in the comments, have you ever almost fallen for an investment scam?